Uh-oh. You got a black screen.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Camppatton Family Compound in the land of internet issues. It's time for Friday night on the Homestead, and tonight's topic is extending your growing season and get it more from your garden. How's everybody doing out there? I don't know what the heck happened. I'm just going all of a sudden just went. It flickered, and okay, what happened to the countdown? What's going on here? Then I heard Mark go, blank screen. Oh, crap, try to find it. And the blank screen.
Pretty quick, and
it's like, what the heck's going on here?
Must be that great DSL you got there in California.
Yeah, I think it was on StreamYard's end. Because
it went black on both sides.
It went and it stopped at StreamYard. Well, see, all my lead-in videos are uploaded to StreamYard. And so it wasn't here that disconnected it. It had to be there that disconnected it.
Yeah.
So and say, well, let's say hi to everybody here. Let's get over here to that tab here. Yeah, that's working fine. So Shady Hill Homestead was first. Walt Rogers was second. This guy was third.
I was early.
And see, Sumi came in fourth. Phelan Klein Wolf said fifth. Then Tammy came in. Then Chipper. Then Kaylin. Then Diana too. Then let's see, starting to talk each other. Back and forth talking. Yep. Phelan says, I guess I'm not the only one with internet issues. Kaylin says, take two. CR is here. Dang, I don't have any. Oh, wait a minute. I do. I made something to eat, and I haven't had a chance to eat my taco shredded meat. There you go. There you go, CR. I got food here. And Alicia Tizamam is here. Gunslinger Outdoors is here. Hey, guys. Another shout out to Gunslinger again. He put out a video today, really cool video. It's about 9 minutes long. You need to watch it all. About the portable power stations and batteries, and the problem that most people aren't testing batteries for. And that's shock value. You have it mounted in your car and you're bouncing around off road and stuff. Yeah, he did a great video on that. So check that out afterwards to go over to Gunslinger Outdoors. Let's see. And just everyone's talking back and forth there. Ha! And Kaylin says, chicken sandwich here, CR.
I had 2 out of 3 failures on my power side when I was at the cabin for 4 days. My mini fridge popped open and drained my jackery overnight, which really ticked me off. Sun didn't come out all day, so I couldn't charge it with the solar panels. And then I couldn't fire my generator up. It wouldn't start. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I had to use my homemade solar power supply, going from DC to the AC inverter back to DC to charge my jackery up so I could run my ceiling fan overnight and not burn my cabin down because of the wood stove. Woke up, I left the next morning. I literally had 3% power left and everything else is dead. So,
okay.
Yeah, backups for the backups. I was good. I was just frustrated.
You got to have backups and backups because what was the saying? One is none, two is one,
and 3 is good.
and 4 is more. All right. I just got a little pop-up of another video here because things are acting up here. All of Cuba in darkness right after they applied for BRICS.
Shocker. No pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll watch that one later. Yeah. Thank you, Alicia. Gave me that. All righty. So tonight's topic. Actually, before I jump on tonight's topic, I sent Tammy, Rebel Canners, a Facebook reel. And there was no talking in it at all. The guy opens up a box of brand new empty 12-gauge shells, takes some out, opens up a brand new airtight sealed thing of primers. It has the hand primer and puts the primer in it. Then he opens up this other box, has all these little. It looks like the little flavorings for water, but it's pre-measured black powder. Well, not black powder, but gunpowder for it because all the different colors and stuff. And he opens it up and he pours that into the shell, and then he puts in the wadding. Opens the box of the waddings. Puts the wadding in there. Opens up a sealed container of 9mm shot. Puts those in there. Puts it in the crimper. Crimps it down. Does several. Puts them all in a jar and seals the jar, puts a sticker on it with a date on it. He's canning ammunition.
Canning ammo. I will do a video where I have I told you I have one of those can openers that cuts the outside of the rim. So I put a Black Magic marker line on it. So when I pop it apart to use the contents for dog food or whatever, I will clean it out real well, maybe leave the label on there. Put things in there.
Yep.
Take silicone RTV, silicone sealant. Put a bead around it. I'll throw depending on what it is. You don't want to throw an O2 absorber in there with something that
react to it.
Anyway, but I'll seal it back up. I'll put something heavy on it. Let it sit for a day or two. Scrape off all the squeezed out silicone and put it back on the shelf. Yeah. And nobody knows what's in it but me, except the label says canned liver, which nobody will touch. And if you take some black, hold on, wait, it gets better. So if you take some black, this is more of a prepper scenario. Take some black paint or something brownish paint, drool it down the side and let it stick to the shelf and just let it harden there. If somebody's going through your cabinets, they're going to be like, yeah, I ain't touching that one. It's shot. And they'll leave it. And now whatever you had in that can is now sitting on the shelf.
Well, you can also just be sneaky along the same lines here, extending your shelf life of extending the safety of your stuff on the shelves. Do it to the regular cans of stuff. Everything on the shelf went bad.
Yeah, something went bad. I'm not sure what it was. You drew it off the top edge and down the side, and it sticks to the bottom. Yeah. And people are like, ew, this stuff is old. I ain't touching that. I'll get sick.
Thing is, like, if you
still might take it and see what's in it until you open it and go, great, I'm hungry, and there's nothing but 22 shells in here. Really? I don't have a gun. I can't eat bullets.
Yeah. things that, like you said, you'd be using making a paint mixture to do that. The paint's going to dry hard, and so whatever on the shelf is going to be hard. And you can move stuff around; it's still going to leave the ugly looking stuff on there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump over here. And Tammy gave a warning on here. It's no pressure canning that, referring to the shotgun shells.
Yeah, you don't want to pressure can it. You don't want to
water bath.
Water bath, and you don't want to throw an oxygen absorber in there, because if you pull the oxygen out of the inside, which it will, they don't work.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. All right. So let's jump over here. And all right. So what we got here is, all right, the most common thing most people think about for if they're in an area where they have a short growing season and they want to extend it all the time, they're going to put in a cold box with the and this one here is interesting. This one here for the this homemade one here showing the that's not glass on there. That's not just regular plastic. That's bubble wrap with the small bubbles on top of that one.
Yep, that works.
So it gives insulation. Let's light in.
So let's be clear: is it a coal frame, COAL, or a cold, COLD frame? Which one is it?
I've always heard it COLD.
That's what I've heard. I've heard people call it a coal frame. I'm like, it's a cold frame, but
yeah. And
sure.
if they want to do a coal frame, COAL, I'll point out how they can do that here later on too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you can also set up little hoops over the garden stuff, and especially if the garden's already growing and you're getting an early frost or whatever. You put these up and stretch it over it for what's already grown, and this gives it a little extra life. Get a few more bits of harvest out of it before it freezes and goes cold on it. Speaking of which,
yeah, how'd your garden fare up? Oops.
The couple days ago, my daughter sent me a text message and said, "Hey, actually, she called and left a voice message when I wasn't near the phone, so I didn't. It doesn't flash saying, 'Hey, there's a message on it,' unless you go to that specific app, And so I didn't know about it. She notified my wife. My wife said, while we were driving, "Oh, by the way, Megan's trying to get a hold of you." So I looked at it. Oh, supposed to have a hard frost. So I told her, "Hey, just don't, usually with the first hard frost is 32 degrees."
Yeah,
that's the way it's been for the last 10 years. And so she goes and so I tell her, "Hey, all right, yeah, just go ahead and harvest all the tomatoes you want." She goes, "Yeah, I'm harvesting all my green ones too." I'll go ahead and just strip them clean, the tomato plants, get them everything you want on there. The butternuts will be good for, several hard freezes before you got to pull them in. And same thing with the pumpkins. And so Howie's here, Food Forest Permaculture.
What's up, Howie?
And so she did that. And so Chris and I were out in the truck where we went around, did some stuff. I dropped her off back down there, came back up here, got on my computer. Okay, this says 26 degrees.
That's not a hard frost. That's just a freeze.
That's a freeze. That's not a hard frost. That's a freeze. And so I called her right back. Okay, all right. Yeah, I need you to go over there, remove all the timers for the sprinklers, take those off, should turn off the yard hydrants, drain everything you can drain up there, and get the timers indoors, not outdoors. Because usually when I take them off, I blow air from my air compressor to them, get all the water out of it. Then I can store it in the shop. If it freezes, no big deal because there's no water in them. And so, basically it hit there. And then Geeky Gardens, Jack put out a video on that his mom's been sending him pictures from Twin Falls, Jackson, Florida, showing all the harvest stuff. And she did the final harvest 2 days ago and stripped everything because of the hard freeze coming. And so and so we were talking about, all right, that not only did it hit Where I'm at, which is a little farther north, but a lot farther east towards up the Grand Tetons than where his mother is, she got the exact same temperature there. So it's hitting about everything in Idaho and now going over to Montana, and it's hitting part of eastern, eastern Washington and Oregon as well. So, yeah, evidently it's something that came down from the north, and I haven't been watching all the weather apps while I've been down here, because when I checked everything, it was supposed to not get below 43 the entire time I was gone.
Mm.
Yeah. So, putting in hoops, if it would known about it, I could have set these up, but hey, not a big deal. You can go smaller hoops. Generally, you see people doing these for earlier planting, but there is some stuff that's been in there for a while. I can see some tall, looks like charred there, and that they're covering up to protect it. Problem I see in this.
That's just a fiber cloth that just sort of insulates. It doesn't really. It works for 29 or 28 and up, but after below that, you're done.
Well, what I noticed too, a problem with this, what some people do, all right, they got the hoops on there, but they got plants over here on the bottom right here that are taller than the hoops. So this fabric's laying on the plants.
Burn the edges.
Yep, it's gonna freeze whatever's touching the fabric out there. So you got to make sure your hoops are higher than what it is you're trying to extend the growth on.
I got to go back into the back corner of my property. Mm-hmm. When I first bought it, the neighbor, we were looking at, I think I told you, we were looking at stuff, and I was like, what are those rocks? He's like, I don't know. They're dated. I'm like, dated? And they have dates on them. I'm looking at them like, those aren't dates. Those are numbers. Crap. Somebody took down a silo and stacked them up. And then we saw this leaning up against a tree, like 50 of these metal, they looked like what they put on tractor trailers, like the hoop house type stuff. And he's like, yeah, I think those are from a tractor trailer. And I looked, I was like, no, they're not. That's the bar they wrap around the silo with the turnbuckles to hold it together. I was like, what are you going to do with it? He's like, I don't want it. I said, so if I came over with the tractor and a bucket and just took stuff, he's like, I don't care. Get it off my property, because we found out it was the edge of his property. So I just got to ask him again. But no, they're 8-foot diameter or 10-foot diameter half rings. So I got steel, whatever, iron hoops. I shove them in the ground. That's a big hoop house. Yeah,
exactly. Cool. I mean, because with that, if that's 10, 12-foot diameter, that's 5-6 foot tall for half a hoop.
Yeah, I can almost go through my hands and knees on there.
Yeah,
almost.
All right, next one here. There are also some other nifty little plastic things you get on there. Once again, these being as small as they are best for the spring. So guys, if you're thinking about starting your spring garden earlier, order these types of supplies if you're going to use this type of thing now, before all of a sudden the price goes up in the spring when everybody's ordering them. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, and then there's of course the the little greenhouses and stuff, or clear hot houses with the so you can vent them and stuff.
That'll set you back a few pennies.
Yeah, especially this one which is a more rigid. This is polycarbonate sheets on here. So this is a more permanent one, which since it's polycarbonate, it will probably last you 10 years or so before you have to worry about replacing the polycarbonate if it's vibrating, moving in the wind at all or anything. Then of course there is from the cold frames, you can build one out of straw or a straw bed. And so the straw actually does two things. One, it insulates really good from the sides, so you don't have wood on the sides, and so you don't have the cold trying to come through or suck the heat out through the sides, because it's got the bales of straw there, so it's going to give it a little bit better. Suzanne Glaze here. Hey. Okay, hang on. I just missed something else here on the Answering the question, no, I don't grow tomatoes inside all year. I am going to try to start in one of the half 55-gallon barrels and grow tomatoes starting here in before Thanksgiving. Go ahead and start that and see how well that does that long indoors in a half 55-gallon barrel, so 27 and a half gallons.
I'm gonna be wintering over a bunch of my pepper plants. They say you can do it outside. I'm like, I already have some in 2-gallon buckets. They're coming in. They already have peppers on them late. Those are the ones I planted in January and ignored them really bad. And now I put them in a bigger bucket. Now they're getting peppers. And my other pepper plants are like going into full bloom right now. So that'll be fun. I'll have peppers in my little grow room, which is one of my daughter's old bedrooms.
Yeah. And Suzanne was saying about dark buckets. I didn't put buckets in there. Thing is with the buckets, if you get a bucket, like a black bucket or a dark blue or a dark green bucket and a matching lid, fill it full of sand.
Yep.
And it'll act as a heat battery, because it'll heat up the sand inside, and it radiates the heat slower, more evenly during the night. And so you have several of those spaced amongst the plants and stuff. It'll be radiating heat out and help keep things warm.
Just make sure they get full sun all day long during the day to heat them back up.
Okay, and I missed Howie's comment here. What was it here? Large rock radiant heat. Composting in rows help bring up temperature, and that's like right now with a picture of the straw bales. So straw bales will start to decompose from the moisture in there and retaining some heat, especially when you got the glass panels there. You're adding more heat on the inside, and so as they start to decompose, they produce more heat than just a blanket of insulation.
Scott, you do have to be careful if you're doing that composting undercover. Mm-hmm. It will build up a small quantity of methane gas, which will hurt your plants. Yeah,
but like this thing here, you can see you can see it back in the back. There's a little gap.
Yep.
Yeah. See, Rebel Canners. Tammy says have several horse blankets from the old days. Yeah. So you can use horse blankets to cover stuff up.
You can go to Goodwill and buy blankets cheap, and just if frost is coming, just go out there and cover stuff up, and then take them off the next day. You don't really have to wash them; just shake the dirt off them and throw them back in the bunkhouse.
Yeah, there's the basically depending on where you're looking at it, the size of the greenhouse around the house. If it's just on one side, it's called a sunroom. And Chris, my wife, really wanted to have a sunroom if we built a house, a big sunroom with good vents and good seals on those vents. So you open it up during the summertime, and so you let the hot air out so it doesn't heat the house up, and shade blinds and stuff. So in the summertime, you don't cook the plants that are in there. And during the wintertime, you seal it up and get all the heat going on it. All right. Just trying to read catch up here. Milk jugs with hot water. You have to put those out every night, to keep the frost off underneath the little hoop rows and stuff, so that heat travels through it. Going down here, and I think I finally caught up. All right. All right. So with the straw plants and stuff, building a temporary straw bunker, whatever you want to call it,
cold frame.
You can also put these closer to the plants. So you pull like if you have chard growing and it's kind of spread out, you pull it back up, you bring the straw up closer to it, and consolidates everything a little bit better for heat retention.
Facebook Marketplace is great for, people redid their windows. They did a new sliding glass door. Just come and get it out of here, because the garbage men won't take it.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, no problem. I'll be over there. You got 3 sliding glass doors, or 2 of them with 2 panels each. No problem. You now have these large pieces of tempered glass, usually double, like it's double pane. So you got the air gap in between there to really help insulate it.
Yeah.
So lots of free stuff out there. Got to be a little bit handy to figure out what to do with it.
Now, if you build something like this out of coal, because coal acts as an insulator, because it is, coal is porous a little bit, and it's like trees compressed, but yeah. So you can build stack it up, and it'll hold some. So you can build a coal frame.
Who has that much coal laying around that can make it to build a coal frame? I'm in.
Anyone that has railroad tracks going by, and check the railroad tracks for coal, especially if they're near a coal fire electrical plant.
Yeah, you might find old clinkers from burned coal, but
yeah. All right, let's see here. Here's a big version of one of those. Well, they built it out, and they got a whole bunch of frames on there. Problem is with some of these, there's a lot of gaps in this one. I don't know how much some of you can see it, but there are a lot of gaps in here. And so with gaps like that, you lose some of your heat retention.
Yeah, you'll still probably have more heat than if you had nothing.
Yeah. And of course, like this is a set for springtime, starting new plants. Oh, they're using solo cups. And you can take make your own frame, and you can get the different types of carbonate, clear carbonate material and stuff, and make it so you have something that works pretty good, and custom build it to the size that you need to.
So if you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, they have rolls of plastic in the plastic bag aisle. Go over to the other end of the store where they have the roofing materials.
Yeah.
That's where you find the 5, 6, and 7 mil, 20-foot by 100-foot rolls. They're not cheap, but you get a big roll of really thick plastic, and regular crappy 2 mil, 3 mil plastic you buy for like paint and stuff like that when you paint your house. Yeah. That may last you a season, maybe. The other stuff, you might get 2-3 seasons out of it, depending on how long you let it roast in the sun.
Yeah. And if you have it like this one here,
I like that.
So they got the 2x6s or 2x4s going down, but across the top, they got it stapled, nailed over to the top 2x4. And then they have, looks like 3/4 inch PVC in there. They got a little T on each end down there, and they have it, the plastic rolled up against it, so they can roll it up. They open it up for them when they have a nice, warm, sunny day, and they can roll it down at night when they're having a cold freeze night. You
just got to watch water when you do it that way, because if it rains and it's open like that, the water collects inside. Then you get algae growth and bugs and mosquitoes and stuff. Just make sure you roll it down occasionally to get the water out of there.
Yeah, for something like that, I would just go stop rolling it up about the last 8 inches, then pick it up and put it over the top so the roll is on the underside.
Yep.
So we can't collect any water. It's real easy to do.
Flip it under itself so it doesn't.
Yes.
Collect
water.
All right.
So it's this one here. So you got so the front one is which is on the left hand side is 1 bale high. The other 3 sides are 2 bales high. So,
you got a little corner vent there.
Yeah. All right. Next one here. That was the last of the ones of those I had pulled up. There are several other things you can do for it. Let's see if I can pull it up here real quick. Because I got Patty and Mac at Southern Blessed Homestead got a small portable greenhouse. I'm trying to bring, come on, computer, work faster. Try and find it here. Come on, where is greenhouse? There it is. Yeah, I got wish list for everything. So this is the one that they got. Let me bring it up here. Boom, and it's going. There we go. So this is a 84 inches wide, 84 inches tall, 180 inches long, which is 15 feet long. Yeah, those 15 by 7 by 7. There it is up above. It popped up there for $139. And you can set this up wherever you need to set it up. So you can set it up, and you guys pick it up and carry it out, put it where you want it.
They're not very wind resistant, so anything more than a 10 mile an hour steady wind, you're done.
Yeah, what you can do to these to strengthen them, they do have on the bottom, they got little straps so you can put it on the ground. Let me go across here and anchor to the ground. But so one of the things you can do on this is to, if you can get the electrician's pull tape, which is usually about 3/4 inch to an inch wide, depending on how heavy duty you get. You put stakes down and you run that up over another stake. You zigzag it back and forth over the top to hold it in place. That gives it a lot more rigidity against wind and stuff.
Mule tape, that stuff's expensive.
Yeah. Well, I got a roll about that big around and about that tall of 3/4 inch for free.
Yeah.
Because one of the scouts' dads was an electrician. And he brought in 3 rolls. Here you guys go. And so I took one for the troop, and the assistant scoutmaster took one, and one of the other parents took one. And it was funny, for the next 2 years at scout camp, there were rolls of mule tape showing up at camp. Okay, we need to put extra strap on this tent, And, we need to hang up a clothesline to hang all the bath towels on from going swimming. And usually once we hung it up, we would leave it for the next troop come in. Oh, cool, we got stuff here already.
That stuff is strong. It'll last a while too.
Oh yeah. Glenn says, I've seen the Florida sun destroyed in this season. Yeah, you got to be, some of these you got to make sure what they are made out of and what you can, how long they're going to last. The really thin ones, one hard season of southern United States sun will bake it. But even up here in the San Francisco Bay Area, probably even during the summertime here, probably get 3 years, 4 years out of it. Up in Idaho, probably get another extra year or 2 up there. Of course, once you get so far north, then all of a sudden you got, the sun's not setting here. So it's getting 24/7 sun for a while. Yeah, let's see. Kaylin says, my friends who have 4 greenhouses on their farm had their heavy plastic get shredded during summer high windstorms. Yeah, it depends on the type of plastic you get for it. Let me.
What type of plastic?
Out. Come on.
How old it is and how tight it is. Because if it gets warm out, plastic expands and it gets a little floppy, and then the wind will catch it and start wrapping it around stuff. Yeah.
So I got several other things in here, and basically it says like 6 mil poly sheeting for making a greenhouse is listed to last 5 years. The 6 mil, which is thicker than that green stuff was. But the good stuff, here comes the good stuff. Let me bring that one up for you guys. And it's popping up here. Loading. Come on, get the pictures up. There we go. Come on. 10 mil thickness. Industrial grade. This stuff is like a friggin' tart.
Yeah, what size is it though? That stuff's
so
small.
20-foot wide, 100-foot long rolls.
Ooh, geez, how much? $300. Well, there you go.
You know, almost, yeah. Oh, $290, yeah. Plus tax, it's over $300. Free shipping though.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah, but the other thing goes along with this. I'm just going to jump over here. Where is it? This is the open up. So this is your 6-inch wide, 108-foot long greenhouse poly repair tape. So if you're doing a greenhouse, you can run that 20-foot wide section up over a hoop house up over it, run another one up over it, and tape it on the outside, tape it on the inside, and now you have basically 40 foot by whatever the hoop is. So, but yeah. Oh, and it's made in the USA too, so it's going to last longer than the stuff from the land of the Red Dragon. But you can also use it for, you get repair, you get damages. You know, something gets a branch blows along and stabs it. Hey, repair tape, fix it. So, yeah. Anyone want to chip in for it? Yeah. The April, one of our friends up there in Idaho, has a big greenhouse, and they've had it up since 2015, 2014, I think. And it's 10 mil. And so it's been up there for 10 years. They've had to patch a few holes or something, blowing along the, got a tumbleweed with a big old root on it, blowing and go stab it. They had to repair that. But they haven't had to replace it yet. So 10 mil, 10 years, not bad. And they get some, you've seen, if anyone's seen the videos on both my channels, there has been some, as my cousin would say, some hellacious winds blowing up there. And this thing has survived. There's a survived in the wintertime. They let anybody in town who has plants they need to keep indoors, they bring them over, put them in there. And so they got the greenhouse and keeps everything above freezing in there. Yeah, check for UV resistance. Yeah, Glenn, absolutely. And but it's like the yeah. So there are different ones here. Find some of the other ones here. But yeah, you can look. All right, now I'm just looking on the different ones here. Some of the 6 mil ones here say UV tested 4 years. Another one says UV tested 5 years. Another one says UV tested 6 years. And so, yeah, you look to see what the UV testing is on for the plastic sheeting. But thing is, though, on the plastic sheeting, you can use it over the regular hoops instead of that the cloth stuff like we had. Hang on here. And so instead of setting up like this with the cloth stuff, if you get the plastic and you cut it the right width and stuff, you can go over, lay it out, put rocks on the edge, or use the big spike nails that have the big old like 2-inch washer, plastic washer built on them to push down in, and so you get something on there that's will protect a little bit better, protect from the freezing rains, and it'll shed the snow and water a little bit better. Everything in Idaho has spikes. Yeah, even the squash seems to be pricklier than it was down here. I don't know what it is, but man, I used to going out harvesting the zucchini, the green zucchini, the golden zucchini stuff. Not a problem there up there. After the first time I went out there, okay, time to get gloves on.
I ran into that with my tomato plants this year. Never happened before. I had, 50 tomato plants really tall. I'm reaching through it, and later that evening, I'm like, why are my arms itching? I was wearing a short sleeve shirt and sweating. And yeah, the little spikes and things on the leaves and that got little red specks all over me from the tomato leaves.
Yeah. I think it's just something to do with the weather, whether they are soft or hard on their little hairs underneath the
the leaves,
the arms. And Steve, of course, our trainer's here. So Steve, there is one thing I will say for Steve. He's in an area down there in Southern California. You can plant longer in the wintertime, and you can actually, depending on what you grow, it'll grow all through the winter and into the spring. But then those plants usually die off in the summer when you plant something else anyway. So, but he can have a garden going year round down there where he's at. Of course, then he also has to deal with the great nuisance, the great Lord nuisance. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So, it's there are plenty of options. Now, one of the things we've done here, we got citrus trees, a lot of citrus trees. And when we get freezes here, we have PVC poles set up with a square top on them up above the citrus trees, or at least they used to be. Citrus trees need to be pruned again, but even the parts that are sticking up, it'll still work with. And we take king size, full size, and twin size sheets, sew them together so they're bigger, and we'll drape big old used sheets over it. And we also go out and, before we put the sheets on, we go out and decorate all the citrus trees with the old style miniature lights, not the LED ones, the old ones were incandescent miniature lights on it, and then put the sheets over it and plug those lights in, and provides just enough heat to keep the citrus trees from freezing. Now, I haven't tried that with something like this yet, and that's some of the things I'm going to think about trying is when I put in the hoops and stuff over a garden, I'm going to hang Christmas lights in there or lay Christmas lights down on the bottom, just above the soil on like a 2x4 or something. And that way, if it gets to a certain temperature, I have the little automatic light receptacle switch. I'll turn on the lights. So when the temperature drops down to 38 degrees, the lights come on.
That can use some serious electricity, though, couldn't it?
Yeah, but true. But they're the miniatures, so they use less. But for us up there, that's the cheapest electricity is at night when this would be being used.
Right.
So that'll help out on that.
If you can find those bulbs anymore.
Oh, we got boxes and boxes and boxes of those types of strings. Because the house here, we used to decorate like I decorate for Halloween. I mean, Halloween. There's graveyards and crypts and ghosts moving everything in the front yard. Christmas time, everything in the front yard has 2 or 3 strands of lights on it. There's lights going up all the poles, the railing for the porch in front, around every window, around every door, up the eaves, down the eaves, across the top, around the chimney. Yeah. And then we have icicle ones that hang from the eaves there at the bottom by the gutter, that look like, different lengths of the lights for that. So, yeah, we got tons and tons and tons of the miniature lights.
You have a Christmas garden.
Yeah. Back when I was still living at home, my parents did the same thing, but they had the C9 and the C7 bulbs. C7 are the ones for your regular night lights, and the other ones are the big ones that everybody used to have.
Yeah,
they had the same thing.
Like 3 of those strands in a row on a 15 amp breaker before it trips.
That's why we my dad always rewired the house and stuff, and there were 2 outside receptacles on a breaker. Halfway across the house, 2 more outside receptacles on a different breaker, 2 more under, so there were breakers all over the place. I mean, receptacles on breakers for that, which in the summertime works great for the electric mower or the leaf blowers. Yeah, that's one way to get lit. Oh, yeah. So, now one of the things that my wife is probably going to do. All right, so I mentioned it last night on Gray Man Prepping. For those that weren't there, Wednesday and Thursday mornings, I was down at my in-laws' place working on a weatherproofing thing for the wheelchair lift. Because the 5 foot from the ground to the back porch on her house there, and they had installed a lift years ago when my mother-in-law's mom was staying with them because she'd gotten too old to take care of herself, and she used to use that lift, and they take her out to go do things and stuff. And since she passed away for the last 20 some odd years, it's been wrapped in tarps, and so they getting it out now for my mother-in-law. She wanted to keep the rain off of it, so we took and put a 10 by 10 canopy over the steps and that. And my wife's putting up tarps on the side to protect it from the rain blowing sideways. And I know she's going to say, it's dark under here at night. So I know my wife's going to be going down there hanging.
There's some Christmas lights.
hanging the white Christmas lights, or she just may use some of the multicolored ones in there and hang some of those. So when my mother-in-law goes out there and needs to out there at night, once she's fully recovered from her hip being broke, she will just flip on the switch and it's light.
It's pretty.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, what other things do you use there in the side chat to help extend your growing season? One of the things I've done, while they're typing stuff in, I just ordered off of Amazon on Prime Day. I got the decent size, not the biggest one, but I guess the second biggest arrow garden, so I can grow lettuce and stuff indoors during the wintertime. So I'll have that going. I'll also experiment with some other things to see what else I can grow that's a little bit bigger in the arrow garden than just lettuce.
You can grow tomatoes. You can get some dwarf tomato plants. You can put tomatoes in there. Mm-hmm. You got to keep trimming them back, though. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, for if I'm going to do tomatoes indoors, I'm going to use either the 15 or the 27.5 gallon pots and grow them in that.
With a grow light above it and let them reach for the sky. Actually,
what I'll do is around the pot, I'll put 4 of the 6 foot or 7 foot green garden poles you can get, that are plastic coated. The big ones that are about the size of my ring finger. I'll put 4 of those in there, and I'll just turn my 4-foot grow light sideways and hang it from the top. That way, there's one on each side, light in it from each side. And that works. I did that before, and that worked pretty good.
the plants don't try to grow sideways towards the light.
Yeah, but that's where proper pruning and the landscapers, that green tape stuff, you just got to pull it back towards the center. That way you keep it towards the center, and then you thin out some of the stuff, and that way you control how you got to control how it's growing.
Right.
But I got some fairly decent sized tomatoes on it the one year. All right, so let me jump over here, grab this, and talk about what's coming up here. All right. Tomorrow on Gray Man Prepping is Attitude Matters, and we'll be talking about good attitude, bad attitude, and what attitudes are, and how an attitude affects your performance in what you're doing, anything in life, but especially in prepping and gardening. Monday back here on Camppatton Family Compound, it's canning broths. Beef broth, chicken broth, bone broth, turkey broth. Do people do fish broth?
Yep.
We'll be talking about it.
And vegetable broth.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll be talking about all sorts of broths and how to can them and what they're good for. Then on Gray Man Prepping for Tactical Tuesday, emergency communications. What's your gear? What type of gear are you using for communications? Thursday is the midnight ride. And then next Friday is winterizing your livestock. For those of you that do have livestock. Oh, Kaylin has a box of fish broth.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's what's coming up for this next week. Something else coming up off in the future here, November 12th, Tactical Tuesday. I'm going to be giving away some free copies of some of my novels. So you got to be there to get one. You have to, you got to be there in the live stream, and I'm going to tell you how to do it during the live stream, and only during the live stream, you have to do what I tell you to do to get a free copy. So I don't want someone coming back, 3 weeks later. Oh, I just watched this. Oops. Limited time. What's it called? Limited time value or whatever. Yeah. So that's what's coming up here for the future here. Let's see what else to remind everybody. Let's see. So also coming up in the future as well, just to let you know, November 25th before Thanksgiving, we're going to talk about canning leftovers so you can get ready for canning whatever you have left over from Thanksgiving. And we're going to be talking about side hustles, the way to support your money, urban water scrounging, off-grid laundry, getting ready for stupidity. That's going to be on a Tactical Tuesday. You can guess which Tuesday that is for.
It's going to be super. Oh, wait. Super Tuesday? Oh, yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to be talking about things to get ready for Halloween, to protect your kids as well coming up here. So, yeah, we got a lot of topics coming up. If you want to suggest a topic for either Gray Man Prepping or Camppatton Family Compound, there's the email right here. It's also in the very bottom of the description. So just send an email with your suggestions. We're up through December 9th. So we got topics up through December 9th. But if it's a really good one, I may shuffle it around. And if it's time sensitive, I will move it to the front. So, yeah. All righty. I think that's pretty much everything here. Just once again, reminding everybody, starting this January 1st on Gray Man Prepping is the 2025 Indoor Garden Challenge. So you can start growing stuff now, but you can't count anything until you start harvesting on January 1st. and it's for the entire year of 2025. And we'll see who grows the most indoors. And we're giving away a couple $50 Amazon gift cards and some other stuff too. All right. And so I'm just double checking everything. All right. Just looking at the comments that came in. All righty, folks. So we're going to wrap it up now. Yeah, grow something. See you guys later.
Have a good night.